Hey everybody, Bill Ohm from MMPCTech.com. 57 inches of snow and going on 47 days of sub-zero temperatures. And it's 15 freaking below today. But you know what? I've got a cougar in my shop. No, not that type. Definitely not that type. I'm happily married. This type of cougar. Oh, that cougar. Right! The company that does the really nice power supplies and cooling fans. Well, this is their new MX300 mid-tower, and it's $49.99 retail. Perfect, considering I can't afford to pay my heating bills anymore, so I'm really looking for a good budget case like this. And that's why I asked for the sample, because I know there's lots of you out there too that don't have a lot of money but love building PCs. The entire front bezel is one big massive intake with its elongated honeycomb grille that reminds me a lot of a Shelby Cobra Mustang. Actually, Ford made a Cougar too. Anyways, behind the bezel is space for two 120mm intake fans, which are not included. You have two 5 1/4 optical bays, which are pretty well stealth behind this design. And one of the bays has the option to convert to a 3.5-inch drive bay or an additional spot for a hard drive. Front inputs include headphone and mic jack, one USB 3.0, one USB 2.0, and the power and reset buttons are molded into the front plastic bezel. The power button is illuminated for power and shows hard drive activity. The MX300 measures in at 17.7 inches tall by 19.2 inches long by 7.6 inches wide, and I've got the metric measurements on the screen. At the rear of the MX300 is one 120mm exhaust fan. This is the only fan included with the case. 7 PCI slots with a cover for the PCI slot screws, and at the bottom is a removable mesh filter for the power supply. The left access panel has option to fit two 120mm fans, and the window is small and made from clear plexiglass. It's fastened on with tabs that hold it in place. Now, what's unique about it is it really only views the storage drive bays. Cougar placed 1/2-inch size case feet on the bottom, so there's plenty of airflow to the power supply, and these are made from hard plastic. Looking inside the MX300, there's ample space for a mid-tower of this size for routing cables and hiding wires behind the motherboard plate, a big opening for accessing heatsink retention brackets. The back side of the motherboard has stamped loops for cable ties. Utilizing dual SLI or crossfire in the MX300 won't be a problem. It will fit GPUs up to 12.2 inches long or 310mm. For those of you looking to air cool your budget build, the MX300 will fit CPU coolers 6.4 inches or 165mm tall. Right off the bat, what I liked about the MX300 is how you could take off the front bezel easily to access the front filter for cleaning it, and the front filter is removable. It actually acts as a front mounting cartridge for two 120mm cooling fans, which you definitely want to install if you're going to run a high-performance GPU or CPU in this mid-tower. This type of user-friendly design, combining a front filter with a fan holder, I've seen in cases twice the price of the MX300, and the cartridge feels durable enough that if you have to clean your filter frequently or swap out the fans depending on what your personal needs are, it felt like it wasn't going to break or snap. In top of Cougar's MX300, you have the option to install two 120mm cooling fans or two 140mm cooling fans. And they include this really convenient magnetic strip fine mesh filter. Although the fastener spacing in the top panel of the MX300 is 15mm, which is the same as all-in-one cooling radiators and single radiators, you cannot fit both the fans and a radiator inside the chassis. You'll either have to have the fans mounted in the ceiling with the radiator on the outside, or vice versa, and in either case, not use the top cover included with the case. But don't let that stop you from trying to modify it or just mounting the fans on the top of the case with a grill and not having the cover on it. With the recent growth of manufacturers making mid-towers to fit 240 size radiators in the ceiling, I was kind of surprised that Cougar didn't do that, although they market the case just to fit 120 millimeter size all-in-one coolers mounted to the back exhaust fan on their website. If one of your criterias for a budget build is having lots of storage capacity in a small mid-tower, the 300 does deliver in this department. It has three 3.5-inch removable hard drive trays with an option to mount SSDs in these, and 3 individual SSD trays, so you can mount a total of 6 SSDs into the MX300. And there's a fourth location for an optional 3.5-inch drive in one of the 5.25 bays, because they've included a 3.5-inch to 5.25 bay adapter. The entire MX300 is a toolless design, and the latching mechanisms for the optical bay drives are decent quality, on par with more expensive cases. Inside the accessory box is a manual with a description of everything. There's also one extra PCI slot cover, some extra cable ties, and all of the miscellaneous fastener screws you need for drives and the motherboard. My final thoughts on the Cougar MX300 mid-tower, starting with my raves. I really like the built-in user-friendly features like the removable top cover for accessing the magnetic strip filter, and you can take the bezel off easily. There's lots of good storage capacity in a case of this size and price. And the price, $49.99, can't complain about that. And also the fit and finish is decent for a case at this price point, and you can fit 2 GPUs up to 13 inches long. My only suggestions for revisions on the MX300: fitting a 240 radiator in the top. You're gonna increase your market appeal because so many people are using these all-in-one coolers now. And also the window location is a bit odd. I don't know too many people that want to see just their storage bays, so a full-size window probably would have been more desirable. Other than that, I think the MX300 is going to be a great selling case, especially at this price point for everything it offers. And I want to thank you for watching my review, and thank you to Cougar for sharing the sample with me. I hope we can work together again, and please subscribe to my channel for more videos and reviews. I've also got some cool project builds with the guys from the Mod Zoo coming up very soon.